The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Jago Castro, bringing you the biggest headlines from around the world. Many foreign nationals remain trapped in Sudan amid the conflict between two rival military forces. The United States and some African nations are racing to secure an extension of a ceasefire. This as the most recent three-day truce, which brought a lull in fighting, has expired. Sudan's army said its leader had given initial approval to extend the ceasefire for another 72 hours, but the U.S. expressed worries of violations. Meanwhile, Sudan citizens fear that their diminishing food supplies could lead into a famine. Several shops like bakeries are seen closed as they run out of supply amid the security tension. The conflict has limited food distribution in Sudan, with millions of people reliant on humanitarian aid. And dozens of countries continue to evacuate their citizens from battle-scarred Sudan. Some have extracted their nationals by air, while some have gone via Port Sudan by road from Khartoum. Russia says it welcomed anything that could bring the conflict in Ukraine closer to its end. A Kremlin spokesman made the remark when asked about the phone call between Chinese President Xi Jinping and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Russia says it is familiar with the details of the two leaders' discussion and that their stances on the conflict were well known. However, the Kremlin said it still needed to achieve the goals of what it called its special military operation in Kyiv.
Готовы приветствовать все, что может приблизить окончание конфликта на Украине и, собственно, достижение России всей поставленных целей. Мы готовы это приветствовать. А что касается самого факта общения, это суверенное дело каждой из этих стран и абсолютно вопрос их двустороннего диалога.
Meanwhile, NATO allies and partner countries have delivered more than 98% of the combat vehicles promised to Ukraine during Russia's invasion. The vehicles are seen to give Kyiv a bigger punch as it contemplates launching a counter-offensive against Moscow. NATO says it has sent over 1,550 armored vehicles and 230 tanks to Ukraine. The military alliance adds that Ukraine's allies have sent, quote, vast amounts of ammunition and also trained and equipped more than 9 new Ukrainian brigades, made up by 30,000 troops. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now World. I'm Diego Castro. As Gulf deaths top 100 in Kenya, another pastor has been arrested over the mass killings of his followers. This, as a growing death toll in a previous case, prompted authorities to investigate scores of other deaths linked to a religious cult from the same region. Officials say they have evacuated over 100 followers that had been holed up in his church. Authorities say the pastor is being processed to face criminal charges related to the killings. The world's oceans have suddenly spiked much hotter and well above record levels in the last few weeks. From early March to this week, the global average ocean sea surface temperature jumped nearly 0.2 of a degree Celsius, according to the University of Maine's Climate Reanalyzer. Scientists are now trying to figure out what it means and whether it forecasts a surge in atmospheric warming. Some researchers think the jump in sea surface temperature stems from a brewing and possibly strong natural El Niño, plus a rebound from 3 years of a cooling La Niña. Those on top of steady global warming heating deeper water below. If that's the case, scientists fear that record-breaking ocean temperatures this month could be the first in many heat records to shatter. The UK's Legoland Windsor Resort has created 2 new scenes imaging the upcoming coronation of Britain's King Charles III, featuring Lego versions of the Monarch and Camilla Queen consort. Guests will get to see the mini models on the balcony at Buckingham Palace, wearing crowns and surrounded by hundreds of mini fans outside the gates. There's also a scene in front of an impressive Lego Windsor Castle, recreating the concert that is planned for the day after the coronation. This also features mini versions of William and Kate, Prince and Princess of Wales, and their children.
Yeah, I mean that's the best thing about seeing the guest reaction of what we produced, of anything in the park and Miniland in particular, because obviously they can relate it to real life, and if we've produced something and it's spot on, then our guests are really sort of excited to see that.
And those are the top world headlines of the hour. Join us again at 9 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. Coming right up is Agenda at 8 a.m. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.